perfectly cooked. It's the balance of sweetness, spiciness, and a little bit of saltiness. It's very good. Hey, how are you? Welcome back to Kiyoshi's Hospitality again. Tonight, I would like to share with you a cultural dish that I've grown up with, which is for the Asian people. We call it long beans, all right? So it's a kind of stir fry, but it mixes up a little bit of everything. First of all, let me tell you what's all the ingredients in there. Very important. It's garlic, sliced red or white onions, diced tomato, and I put this all the time, but not everyone does. It's optional. It's fried tofu, which is very good combination with a stir fry with this long beans. And of course, in order to make it better, I use pork. I get the juice from the pork. We make it crispy, I get the juice with that. And that's what I use for stir fry to make a better flavor. And I put also a shrimp. Again, this is optional, so it's up to you. If you don't want it, it's okay, but I like more than shrimp because it's a good combination of the veggie and shrimp and the pork when you get the flavor mixed together. Let me tell you what kind of seasoning I'm gonna use. Chicken broth, dark soy sauce, oyster sauce, chicken bouillon, a little bit of sugar, a homemade chili oil, a cornstarch, and salt, and also the white pepper, by the way. All right, so now you already knows all the ingredients you're seasoning. Now we start cooking. It's gonna take only 10-13 minutes because vegetable, you don't cook it too long. You wanna keep the vegetable as crispy as possible, but when you cook too long, it's getting soggy. Before I forgot, I remember I mentioned to you about the cornstarch. The cornstarch is for the shrimp. So shrimp that we have to mix it up together, mix it. All right, let's start cooking. First of all, of course, we need oil in order to stir fry. Probably 20 tablespoons. Make sure it's hot. I always start with the pork because pork takes longer. At the same time, the way I want to cook the pork, I want to make it crispy. So let's start with the pork first. So make sure we cook it this little bit longer, because pork, instead of deep frying, I stir fry, so we have to be able to get the juice of the pork and the oil of the pork. That's what we're gonna use for stir frying the rest of the stuff. So when it start getting browning, that's how it is. So, but still not enough. It has to be very crisp. All right, it's done now. See this pork? It's crispy. Don't make it over too crispy, otherwise it's chewy and hard. Now we're gonna take it off and see the oil. The oil from the pork, that's what we're gonna keep there, okay? Hold on, let's take this out first. It smells good with the pork, like the chicharrones. So we're gonna stir fry the tofu a little bit. Don't make it too long, so it's crispy a little bit. Heat it up. Let's cook this about a minute and a half. All right, it's all done. Now we'll go. Put everything on the side. There we go. So we're not changing the oil because we keep this oil from the pork in this wok. So here we go. We got the shrimp. All right, it's done. Now, see that we out of oil already? We have to pour a little bit more oil because the shrimp absorb all the oil because the shrimp is completely a little bit breaded in there. So that's why it absorbs most of the oil. So we'll pour a little bit of oil, but not much, about 1 tablespoon. Normally the people, the way they cook, they put the garlic first in order to stir fry the meat, but I don't because like I said, garlic it cook faster. By the time you put all the meat, the garlic's already burned. So I start stir fry all the meat and the shrimp and the pork and the tofu. Now, here we go. Onions. And then, here we go. Let's toss it a little bit. This tomato. You notice that we all mixing the vegetable first. Now we're gonna put a tofu in there. After that, put the pork. The reason why I put the shrimp late because the shrimp cook faster. Veggie, you can cook it halfway because you have to keep it crispy. You don't want to get too soggy. So in the meantime, while we're doing that, we're gonna put our seasoning, the chicken broth. You don't put too much broth in there because vegetables, when you cook, it's becoming watery. You don't want to, this will be very watery. Oyster sauce, dark soy, a little bit of chicken bouillon, sprinkle of white pepper, not too much, a little bit of salt, not too much, a little bit sugar for neutralize the flavor and everything, a little bit of sugar. The last but not the least, the chili oil. Not too much because it is kind of spicy, so it is one that kind of have a little bit bite in there. Let it cook a little bit, and then we'll put the shrimp. You guys remember with the shrimp, we put a cornstarch. The starch for the halfway there, that's the one that will make the sauce thicker. Probably this another minute or two, should be ready to go. All right, I hope you will like my stir fry of long beans with shrimp and with tofu. Let's try it. The vegetable is just perfect, crunchy. The shrimp, tofu, just perfectly cooked. It's the balance of sweetness, spiciness, and a little bit of salt in it to balance all the flavors, the meat, the seafoods, and the veggie, and the spiciness. It's very good. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. I see you then. Have a good night.